rolling, Chad.
We're rolling.
What episode is this, Chad? Chad, what episode is this, Chad?
Episode number 148. 148. Yes.
148 on 75 North.
75 North.
Where are we right now, people? Guess.
It's December.
Yeah,
That's true. December alert.
It's the 5th.
It could only mean one thing.
Yeah.
We just left Punta Gorda. Is that how you say it? It's Punt?
It's actually Punta Gorda.
Punta Gorda.
It's Renta Cunta. It's like the first, never mind.
Cunt punt. That's where cunt punt comes from.
Oh.
Okay, let's start again.
Hey, Chad, what episode is this? Marker. We
Yeah.
left Punta Gorda.
Yes, the good old Celtic Ray public house in Punta Gorda. We have not been back here since 2017, we think. We haven't checked on that yet.
Somebody said 6 years, 5 years?
5 years is what everybody's saying. We had a great time last time we were here. This was, I think, even just topped the last time by far.
Yeah, so the place has been renovated beyond recognition.
Yeah.
Meaning the outside, they've got a real stage outside, they got real sound, they got real sound guys, they got the staff is on top of everything.
Yeah.
Max and Kevin Doyle they've got the fish and chips down, they've just nailed it. As far as an Irish pub goes, with everything, everything on the side, they got it nailed.
Yeah.
Great venue.
Yeah.
Phenomenal staff. Matt did a great job running sound for us, and so I told Corey, the manager, I says to him after the thing, I said, I was shocked by the age group. I said, it's a little older than I was expecting, and he said, this is not the old crowd. He said, we got the young crowd tonight.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, correct me if I'm wrong, average age, what, 75? 80? 19? No, there's a lot of old people, but I'll tell you something, they did not flinch.
No.
They did not flinch at any of the songs we did. We played as heavy as Motorhead and Black Sabbath and on and on and on, and they clapped their hands and danced, and hats off to that crew.
Yeah.
That was impressive.
That was something else.
But I told him that too. He said, look, and Corey said, the energy the band gives off and the constant, he said, people that come in here and they'll sing Danny Boy and Green Alligators and all that shit. He goes, yeah, they'll treat them like background music. He said, this was an event today and the people knew it. So very, very, very impressed with,
Yeah, there we go.
Seriously going there.
Yeah, Florida.
Yeah. So, Jacksonville on Friday night.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was
Mayhem almost.
Wow.
Kind of crazy.
That was a trip. We hadn't been back to Lynch's in an even longer period of time. Apparently, it's hard to believe it, but apparently it's been like 12. It had been 12 years. I was looking through my photo history while we were there, trying on a break, trying to figure out what, just judging from the last picture I took. And it was October 2009. It was the last time we were actually playing at Lynch's, which just doesn't seem right.
No.
But that pub is essentially the same, but they remodeled their stage, which was a much needed remodeling, and it's a very nice stage now. There's plenty of room.
Basically, sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, go ahead.
The stage that they had the last time was essentially a fucking mantelpiece.
Yeah.
It was it was right by that fireplace, and it was just there was a bunch of shit thrown in the corner, and you had to kind of set up in and among the quote-unquote decor of the pub. So they were trying to do that bullshit, broken fiddles on the floor and accordions on the wall and all kinds of crap.
Right.
So they've redone the place. The thing I'll say about Jacksonville is Lynch's is their crowd come in to throw fucking down.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the line around the building to get in, and once they get in the door, they are just ready to throw it down. So it was unnerving at first seeing the little mosh pit going. This is the only time we've ever seen in a pub, mind you, crowd surfing.
Yeah.
Was at Lynch's Irish Pub in Jack's Beach, Florida.
Yeah. So it's funny because it's a whole new generation of students and kids who are there now, but they behave pretty much the same way. But they were really into it, and somebody brought up a whole row of chairs to sit so people could sit and right up front of the edge of the stage and watch us. and that kept turning over. Like the first people would go to get more drinks, then somebody else would take their seat. It was really cool, and I noticed it seemed that started happening, that the pressing against the edge of the stage after we played Every Day Is Christmas Since You're Gone. This is our song, but that really seemed to get their attention.
Yeah, that song actually was a kind of a shocker this trip.
Yeah, it was
one of the, even today I noticed the people, they kind of swaying side to side until they realize the lyrics and like, hey.
Right. Yeah.
But very fun.
So
and it's just another thing too. So Lori and Allison and Eric are
different Eric.
Eric from Florida, but they came to Houston last week. They all surprised us, and they all show up in Florida. And honestly, there was about 30 of them in all.
Last night they had a whole bunch of people.
Yeah, they had. Yeah. It just brought a ton of people in there, and it's one thing to play at a venue after many years and get a great reception, but it's also an extremely just blissful feeling to have that many people in there for, you know what I mean, that many people that you quote unquote know well, and that are part of the game. It's just stunning. And in typical fashion, it was a complete surprise. We had no idea they were going to show up. They said, I think we need to call it like pulling a hole in, anytime somebody shows up unannounced. And Lorene as well from Ohio.
Yeah.
I mean, because Jay Holland kind of started it, so we need to maybe they roll in like Holland, they roll in like Holland, but something like that. But we need to have a name for it, because it used to be Jay Holland would end up, we'd see this shadow in the back of the room, we're like, oh fuck, we're gonna get killed. It looks angry, and it's just Jay and his happy face.
Isn't she from Illinois though?
Yeah, that's what I said.
You said Ohio.
Did I say Ohio?
Yeah.
Oh,
just making sure.
Same thing.
Just hoping she's not listening to this guy. Illinois guy down.
Yes, she's from Rock Bottom, Illinois. That's why she's from Rockford, but she calls it Rock Bottom. But she didn't bring Bob with her. Her husband used to be a Chippendale dancer. She didn't bring him. So she was, let's just say, well-behaved. Wink, wink, wink.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, she wonderful. But we know Lorene from Ireland. She was on our first Irish trip, and we've known her from MySpace.
Yeah.
Da-da-da. Yeah. We met so many people. Now we want to do a special shout out to Kirsten from Liverpool, her husband Mike, and their son and their daughter Kate and their son Sean. We want to thank them. They gave us about like maybe 4 metric tons of chocolate from Ireland.
Yeah, I took a picture of it. I'll post it.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Make sure we post it later.
Screenshot on the video version of this now.
Yeah.
So Kate, who's about 13 years old, talking to her, you think she was like 19 or 20, but she comes up to the stage and she goes, "Hey, do you want some candy?" And I said, "Hey, that's my line." I'm usually saying, but she
reverse psychology there.
Well, anyway, I said, "Get in the van out of habit." She was like, "No, no."
When the kids showed up, the kids showed up initially. We were setting up. And I didn't know who they were. They said, "Hey, we just wanted to know if you want some candy." I thought they were just trying to sell it to us. So I said no.
As you can tell, Chad doesn't go well with kids, if you know what I mean.
Get away from me.
Yeah. Anyway, no, it was just heart-stopping the amount of chocolate that they gave us.
They just kept bringing more up.
Yeah, and so we, and they were. So Mike, the husband, surprised Kirsten from Liverpool yesterday at our afternoon show, and he didn't tell her that we were in town. And we show up, and our banner's hanging over the thing, and I see this woman screeching in front of the banner, getting her picture taken, like, "Oh my God!" And so now we have lifelong friends.
Yeah, that was very cool.
They're the best. Yeah, it's just so nice to have, to know that the sound that's going out is good, and the people are enjoying it, and it was just.
Oh yeah, the guy Matt was running sound, whom we had met, over 10 years ago, the first time we played. here, and he was actually with a band called Flurgan at the time, which I don't remember what instrument he played.
The fallopian tuba.
There was like 12 guys in that band or something. It was a huge punk band. But anyway, he did a great
You
job.
like tom-toms?
Hey.
He did a great job in the sound, which made our jobs very. It was it was very relaxed, easy time for us there.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And my buddy Dave Stark was there. Dave plays in the band, and he was like, "Hey, yeah, you guys sound great. Like, the sound system, I can hear everything clearly. Vocals, guitar, bass, drum,
Yeah.
everything sounds super clear."
Yeah.
That was good feedback to have
Yeah.
Yeah.
without having feedback.
Yay! And also, by the time you hear this, you will know that we have in hand.
Yes.
Can we put a drum roll in here? Thank you. Vinyl! We have vinyl in hand. We're
Yes.
driving back to touch it, lick it, sail it, send
Right.
it.
So place your orders now, people. It's gonna go
Need to wear gloves
fast.
for that whole operation.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. So we're gonna have. Oh my. Yeah, I'm so excited. My son sent me a picture. Opened up the box, took a picture of it, and the V's art looks so good in the middle of that record. I'm so excited. So excited. So.
Yeah. So Blaggards.com/store.
Yeah. And also, I can't thank her enough. We can't thank her enough. But Lori, aka Merch Maiden, for coming in and saving the day, because we would not have been able to. We played from 4 to 7 today and yesterday, and we would not have been able to get to everybody.
Yeah.
You know,
Meet all these people. Yeah.
Yeah, because it was an onslaught. Because there was also a bunch of people that. I also have to say too, our newfound friend Chris gave us the hookup, the
Yes.
family and friend. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Chris gave us the family and friends hookup at the Hampton Inn. We're now going to get motherfucking serious about touring.
Yes.
Because
All Hilton owned
Yeah.
hotels. We've got the family discount.
So get this, Lori. You know what? I'm choking on my words
Take a breath,
because there was so much shit going. You know, she doesn't. But she was calling to make the reservations for this trip because I was juggling some stuff and we're trying to get those fucking vinyl records in and all that stuff. So she says, "Here, I'll do it for you." She called up Port Charlotte, right outside of Punta Gorda, and she talked to the sales manager, and she said, "Look, the guys are coming in. You know, I'm trying to help them out, book her." And he goes, "What band?" She goes, "Blaggards." He goes, "I fucking love Blaggards." And they started off going, "Oh, you're cool," blah blah blah. So he gave us the friends and family rate, hooked us the fuck up. I mean, just. It was incredible. The staff, we walk in, so we finished the show in Jacksonville at 2:30 a.m. We left probably about 3:30. We drove 5 hours after that show straight to Port Charlotte. Walk in there, we're not exactly in a skipping and jumping and dancing mood as we usually are, but we get in there, and the two young ladies behind their desk, they were, I mean, just took care. I mean, everything was. It was like we were on a greased rail. It was just shoot.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, you're in your room. They didn't fucking. He said he left word with them. You know, get them in quickly. Take care of the blah blah blah. And it was just so.
Yeah.
You know, because we had an early start for us, the next day, and to have that kind of attention to detail and everything ready for it was just absolute.
Yeah.
You know, so I just can't wait to get home and do it. Top marks for our friends at the Hampton Inn, and it just smokes. And again, Lori saving the day by doing that for us, just knocking it out of the pack.
Chris and his gal came to the show yesterday and had a wonderful time.
Yep.
Very nice people.
Yeah, we'll be seeing them. We'll be seeing them again.
Yeah.
We'll be seeing them again. But just, I mean, you know, it's just nice when because I want to say too that this was essentially a quickly put together weekend. You know, this was Max Doyle at Celtic Ray here in he moved shit around to get us in because since we've played here last time we've been the punters, you know, the country punters, request us. They've been asking to get us back, and he said, "Look, I'm trying to get them back." And then anyway, he moved mountains to get us in, and then to come in here and have this kind of weekend, and for Eric and Chad to jump in the van and short notice and get all this shit together. It's just really makes it easy, and it's one of the better weekends we've had in a long time.
Yeah, it was great fun.
So thank you, everybody. So this week we have on the show,
Yes. Long
Catch
promised.
My Carbon.
Yep.
What they're doing is they're trying to erase your carbon footprint. Mine and yours.
Yeah.
All of ours. So by planting Irish trees in Ireland, X amount per whatever your activities are, you can erase your carbon footprint.
Yeah.
And they're putting these trees in, and they are they're planting them all over the country, and they're just it just took off. It was not only a great idea, but it's also it's so well organized, and it's such a great, which you'll see in this episode and the previous episode too. We just they really got this guy Flint really got his shit together, and he and Mark concocted this scheme to put these trees all, to essentially put them back in, and to because they help the atmosphere and the earth so much. And
Native trees, right?
Native trees,
Native Ireland.
Yeah,
that's right.
Oh, they just don't plant like fucking birch and
Just
poplar and
any
shit
old-
like that. They're planting actual trees that belong.
Yes.
On there, right?
the mighty larch, the Scots pine.
So we got more lodge.
You want to get wood? Wait, what? Sorry.
Yeah, we're in awe of Catch My Carbon. It's just brilliant. We feel very, very lucky to be able to, spread this word over here. And
brilliant. No, it's great to look. It's great to hear that. Thank you.
And I warned you guys to cut up your credit cards and throw your checkbooks in the bin, because he will sell you 1,000 trees by the end of this call.
Brilliant. Yeah, well, that's good, because we're absolutely. I'm tapped into the neighbor's credit card. I snatched the person. So yeah, it doesn't matter. We're delighted to get you on. Sorry it took so long to get back. We were gonna do this in a timely fashion the last time, but what we'll do is we'll put the other episode back to back with this one, so they can hear all about it. And we have a lot of people coming on the trip next year, and next October. So love to line something up, to where we could, A, introduce you to the gang, and B, then we could get Flint to do the pitch again. And, we're not going to stop after this. We're not going to just show the episode and leave it. We'll continue on.
And it's great to hear you coming back next year. We're looking forward to it. It's been a while.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And how's things back over there now? Is everybody, I hate to say normal, because it was never fucking normal, but is it at least getting to where you can,
things started to get back to normal, and now we're starting to shut down again. The COVID D or Delta, whatever it's called, is taken over. It's getting pretty bad. It's getting worse with the number of people catching it. I don't think they're getting as sick, but there's still a lot of deaths out there.
Yeah.
I've heard so many people catching it that I didn't hear about in the first wave. Or the second wave. So the third wave seems to be a lot more contagious. My sister has it now.
Oh gosh.
Oh no.
Yeah, so it's pretty bad. And two people in my team had it as well. It's just it's crazy in work.
What's the scenario? What's the situation with the vaccine over there now?
So 92% of people have been double vaxxed, and they're starting to roll out the booster now. But even if you're vaccinated, people are still catching it.
Yeah.
The booster is supposed to give us more immunity, but still, not forever.
We have very high vaccination here. We'd be over 90, which is one of the highest in Europe. One of the highest in Europe. Some of the countries in Eastern Europe are only 25%. We have quite a fragile health system, so that's one of our big issues. It struggles every year, even without COVID. So
Jesus.
Look, we're keeping the a right side out, as they say. We're staying positive, and we might weather this last storm. This is our fourth wave now. This is actually our fourth individual specific wave.
Yeah. But it kind of coincided with the pubs and nightclubs opening up, which is so.
Mark has been out there, like he's been out every night, like
Just spreading the immunity.
Well, when you got his dance moves, it's hard to stay in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it means I can clear a dance floor. I get some nice social distancing on the dance floor.
He's been getting social distancing for years, fellas. It's not
No one comes near me.
Stop.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
So we haven't gotten a proper introduction to you, Flint, yet. We heard a lot about you in the last episode with Mark, but
Yeah, look, I suppose myself and Mark probably know each other now. I'm trying to think back. It's probably good 4 or 5 years. I approached Mark in the back of one of our favourite pubs here in Westport, Matt Malloy's, with a bit of a harebrained idea I'd been brewing away for years. And he had sufficient amount of Guinness that he said, actually, he was on board and he wanted to play ball. It was probably instant regret the next morning, though, Yeah. But no, it was just, I suppose it came from, look, similar to what Mark might have said previously, but, it's just a real interest and passion in native trees. There's still a few pockets of ancient woodland across the west of Ireland. When you're driving around, you see these small pockets of ancient oak trees, for example. And there's a whole, that feeds into the whole mysticism of Ireland, and the whole magic of the country. So really, it was about, I was thinking to myself for a long time, it's like, how can we get more of these trees? Like, how come there's so little there? And I suppose, how can we work together in a positive manner to kind of make the future better? And really, that's where it came about. And it really, so once we set up Catch My Carbon, then it grew slowly. Initially, I suppose we only had X amount of time to dedicate to the business, But it's overachieved massively, and it's really, really good fun. Like we get random calls from landowners who just want to do something with us, and then we also might get emails off a company who want to maybe for us to plant for them, and we're just linking up with facilitating this whole process.
Yeah, it's really very little effort for us to achieve what we have done so far. A couple of hours a week, maybe we spend even less. On the website, send out some Facebook posts, things like that. But anyone we approach, pretty much any business owner that approaches us signs up, because the idea is it sells itself really. For a company, the cost is pretty minimal, to plant trees to offset their carbon, to do something good. Even if they're not offsetting all their emissions, they might be planting trees for example, their guests in a B&B, or we have some teachers and things like that are planting trees for all their students. All of this sort of companies.
We've got a few huge rock bands over in the States as well. We got some big players. We got this one band in Texas. They're the next big thing, I hear.
So you don't mind slumming it, is what you're saying? You don't mind actually. I guess if you're playing in the dirt, you may as well play with a rock band. But so Flint, and so where are you from?
Originally, I'm from Galway. I've lived in a few places across Europe over the years. But I suppose my kind of crest, if I was to put one on my chest, would probably be Galway. Like Galway City is where I grew up.
Oh, lovely.
The city of Troy is there. I don't know if you know it. It's a thriving city.
Oh, they've played there a few times.
Yeah. Oh, brilliant. Yeah.
Yo, I love Galway. The King's Head. But it's funny when we mention when we're going to Ireland, the first question is, are you going to Galway? So Galway is always on the on the itinerary every single time.
Well, listen, I'll have to try and get down to you,
Oh yeah. Well, hopefully we'll get you to Westport at some stage.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. So so you live in Westport now, near Mark?
Exactly. Yeah, he's literally across the road, really. Yeah. So
lovely. We initially met at soccer, because his eldest is the same age as my eldest. They're both 10. So we were both hanging around watching the kids play.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Great stuff. So what do you see? What do you see now as the future for Catch My Carbon? What's the this time next year, this time 5 years? What do you see?
Well, look. I suppose I'll start. Like Mark will have hopefully, our views are somewhat aligned. As kind of a co-directors.
Yeah.
But it's essentially we've set up, like, what we see is actually a new social model. And that is essentially, if you look kind of deeper into what we're doing, we're linking up carbon emitters, multiple carbon emitters, be individuals, companies, with carbon sinks sites, i.e., planting sites, and this could be in Ireland, this could be globally. We could, our long term ambition would be to be like to kind of Airbnb really of micro carbon uptake in afforestation. Like that's where we'd like to see us moving into the future horizon. This time next year, look, if we keep on our current trajectory of kind of doubling our planting every year, we're delighted with that, because it's about building up our name. This is a lot about trust. We're not in this to make money, and we're not in this to rush. It's really, we want to do it well. We want to plant our trees, good quality trees. We want to protect them on good sites. So we just want to keep doing that, to be honest.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah. Like I say, it's such a brilliant idea, and it's such a great. Of course, I was with Tara. I was with my daughter just a little while ago. We were going to the bank. I was telling her about Mark. Well, she knows about Mark. Everybody knows about Mark. But I was explaining how the company works and how it's typical Mark. Because Mark and I knew each other when we were about this big, and big heart. I hate that he's here, because I hate to say, I've never said anything nice in front of him before, but he's big heart, and he's incredible. Yeah, thank you. Incredibly smart, and but so I know that this isn't going to be because it's too late now, but a flash in the pan. A couple of weeks into it, oh, that was great, and move on. It's just a tremendous platform, and we were joking when we had Mark on the first time. I was saying, I'm going to steal the idea and do it over here. He says, "Oh yeah, we do franchises." I said, "That's actually
yeah."
Yeah, no, definitely. And the Airbnb idea is really, I think that's where it's at, because, we're the middlemen at the moment. We just, we plant the trees on someone else's land. We don't own the trees, and we don't own the land, similar to Airbnb. So if we developed an app where a landowner can sign up, register their site, get the approvals, whatever we need, we have some processes in place where we need to make sure they sign up for long-term afforestation. And then anyone who wants to buy a tree or plant a tree or sign up and get carbon emissions calculated can do it through the app. And we're really just managing the process and making sure the quality control is there and everything is there for the long term. So I think that's where because we're working full time, and unless we start scaling this up huge, we're not going to be able to work on it full time. We're only going to do it, and it's only get to a certain limit, and we don't want to. Get to a certain limit and stop. We want to keep going, so I think that's where we have to go.
Yeah, so that's brilliant.
I'm a little bit older than Flint, so this is my retirement plan.
Yeah.
So in a couple of years' time, I'll be planting trees in my spare time and my full time.
Brilliant. Well, you want to stay fit then, Mark, because you want to get the shovel out.
Yes.
I'll keep him he's 90. He'll be all right.
Now the kid's going to be big enough to start planting with us as well. So.
Yes. So and physically, I mean, what does it take? So you get an order for 50 trees, and of course you have the place to put them. Physically, what is that? I mean, how long does that take you?
Well, look. I suppose just like it's critical that we do it well. It's critical. There's no point in us doing all this and having trees that are not in the right area. So we have to do an assessment, obviously, of the land. All soil is different, and obviously there's different types of species. I don't know if you're aware of some of the different kind of Irish species, that we plant. You've got your different types of oak, you've got your types of holly, then, and your birch, and you've got we have a couple of indigenous pine trees as well, with Scots pine, and also yew, which is a beautiful tree, a very very slow growing tree. So we do a bit of an assessment of the site initially. We select our species, and then I suppose the practicals of planting really are relatively straightforward. It's a couple of lads or ladies, if we have any lady kind of volunteers, it's a flask of coffee, all right, and a couple of sandwiches, and then welly boots, and it's in the mud for a day or whatever it takes. Yeah, and it's just that's it.
But we actually were with a landowner, and she showed us this technique for planting trees. We were digging a hole and pulling out stones and roots, and then putting the tree in 5 minutes or something to do each tree, and we got it down to 30 seconds with this technique. So it's fantastic. We got 600 trees in one day with the landowner's help. So it's fantastic.
Wow.
And it saved us because we were breaking our back doing it.
Of course, that was my next. So is there any footage? Is there any video or anything that people can watch this technique and?
Yeah, we haven't patented it yet, so.
yeah. So hold off on that. Good.
It is on our website. If you go to catchmycarbon.ie, you can see the video on the top there, and it shows the technique. So they're bare root trees, so they're just a little bulb of roots. So all you need is a little slit in the ground, and if you do it right, do it with the technique, it actually pulls the tree down and it stands it up straight. And it's perfect. We don't use stakes because the stakes would be bigger than the trees in most cases. So
you might have more carbon in the actual support for the tree than the tree itself.
Yeah.
But look, I suppose, guys, if you're over here, I'm sure Mark has said this before. You're obviously very, very much welcome to. We'd love to see one of our sites.
Yeah.
Absolutely love that.
Yeah.
We obviously have a lot of trees that you guys have planted through Blaggards. Through your fans and your supporters, which is great. It's fantastic. Yes. We're getting all the guys from Texas and even further afield. I think we've had orders as far as California as well for you coming through the Blaggards.com site. So it's fantastic. So we obviously have a little Blaggards forest already over here.
Lovely.
It's rocking out, guys. Rocking out.
So pushing that out. The government. Are they? Of course, they're into it. They have to be. Are they helping you at all? Are you getting any?
We haven't approached the government yet. We've done it all through private money. Just from the supporters and people who buy trees off us and the companies we're working with. But there is opportunities, I suppose, when we get bigger. You can't take money from an individual or a private company and government money to plant trees. It's one or the other. Yeah. So we can get grants if we go above a certain hectare or acreage. We have to get licenses and planting licenses, and when you get into that scale, you can get grant money. So you can get money from the government to plant the trees, and they give you money up front to kind of prepare the area, put fencing in, and then they'll give you a kind of a return on investment over 15 years. So if you have a bit of land, it's worthwhile. So our landowners are generally, they don't want to go down that route because the area is too small, or they just don't want to deal with the government and they just want to do something themselves. So for them, they get free trees planted on their land, and they just need to maintain them. And it's permanent forest as well, so they don't get that return at the end where they chop down the forest for firewood or whatever else.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there is a nice scheme. The government have a natural woodland scheme or native woodland scheme, and that's a permanent. But there's nothing to say you can't chop down the trees after your grant runs out. So we sign up for a permanent reforestation, and that's what we do. We don't go into the crop business at all.
No, we're not in that yet. However, I actually touched on a point there, which is interesting. We're actually having kind of active discussions about maybe branching off and having maybe looking at investment, where maybe we'd get a couple of kind of similar thinking individuals who join up and invest X amount, buy an actual parcel of land, and then avail of some of the government grants out there. An individual might be 1/10 owner in like a 10 acre site, but they would obviously commit to long-term afforestation there. That's something that we're definitely looking at maybe the next couple of years.
Yeah. Because there must be even with the even just even with helping the environment, isn't there a way to grow the trees and then use them, but still
Yeah.
like
Well,
recycle?
that's called coppicing. Actually, it's quite an old technique that's used, I think, over in the UK a bit more than here. Like some species like oak, you can actually coppice them, use the material, and then they will grow back.
Yeah.
I suppose the key thing for us is that any wood that was ever taken from any forest would have to be, for the whole carbon capture point of view, like actually furniture or anything like that, or even construction material would be okay, because that caption is stored, that carbon is stored. Obviously, we wouldn't want to go into firewood or anything, because that kind of defeats the purpose.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
That doesn't help biodiversity really. A lot of the forests and types of trees that are used for that are not great for biodiversity in Ireland. They're not native. We you can see if you go into a spruce forest here, there's nothing that lives in them. So it would have to be managed in such a way that it would improve biodiversity as well. So it's not as lucrative, because if you plant a plantation of 10 acres, you want to get the most money out of it. So all the trees are planted in rows, they're all really close together. No light gets into the ground. And it's terrible for biodiversity. So we want to try and do both. So anything we do would be probably hardwood, that we could then use, as I say, for furniture or building materials, but not this fast growing, high yield crops.
Yeah.
Sorry,
back to the planting. So what is there any sort of maintenance? Is there anything that you have to do after you plant them? Do you?
Yeah. Well, I'm actually over probably next weekend. I'm going to be doing a bit of kind of pre-planting maintenance. For the first, I suppose the kind of critical window is probably the first, but maybe 2 to 3 years. Once our sapling is outcompeted, the local grassland, then they can stand on their own 2 feet and they're off, So that's why we every tree we plant, we put a little sleeve around it, Mark, don't we? And that's important. So really, a small bit of maintenance the first couple of years. However, there is going to be naturally a little bit of loss, which actually help with the whole random planting. Like we try and do random, but it turns out, all right, that humans are actually they're very hard. It's very hard for us to do random, even when we try. All right, we always.
Yeah.
So So to answer your question, yes, there is a certain amount of maintenance first few years. But really, because we're rewilding as well, if in the future a tree falls down and there's some lichen and some stuff growing, that's brilliant. We're happy out.
Yeah.
Oh, good, okay. And so you can delegate this out. You can so you don't have to keep with these hopefully hundreds of millions of trees that you're going to end up doing. You don't have to be. You can delegate it out to where people can. You can teach them. And
exactly, and that's really where the landowner comes in. The landowner, we have to be very careful with the landowners who we accept to be part of our process, because they have to be future thinking. They have to really care for this new forest. It's essentially theirs. Mm-hmm. We help kind of setting it up and a little bit of care initially, and really after that, it's their land as well.
Yeah, I would say our trees are like the Kobe beef of trees. We do sing to them when we go out there, and we feed them a little bit of beer, a little bit of a massage. Tell them jokes. So
we're getting dangerously close to home here.
Yeah.
That's enough of that.
I would like to see a video of you telling a tree a joke. That would be a good promotional clip, I think.
It tends to be a bit wooden, you don't get much reaction.
So for the scientifically challenged in the audience, which I think I have a basic rudimentary understanding of how trees work, how the offsetting the carbon footprint works. But just for those of us who don't remember biology class very clearly, what is it about a tree that helps accomplish this? And also, what's the difference between a tree and your grass or any other kind of plant that's out there?
Yeah, well, look, I suppose anything that's green that we see out in nature or has got chlorophyll is producing. It's engaging in the process of kind of photosynthesis there. So I suppose the first, that's the critical, just understanding the basics of photosynthesis, and really in an absolute nutshell, it's the removal of CO2 from the environment, with water, all right, and obviously in like in a type of biomass where you're going to get growth. So that's your tree. So your carbon really over the years is taken up within the actual tree. So the wood, essentially wood, that's the biomass, it's wood. And in exchange, obviously, as part of that photosynthesis process, the tree produces oxygen as well. We haven't even spoken about that really much today, but that's another absolutely critical element of this whole thing.
Yeah.
Oxygen, So, and then over time, obviously it builds up more and more and more mass, and that's where you really get your carbon store. The difference between a tree and a blade of grass, it's just a size and I suppose a length, and how long a tree lives. And hence why, our favorite tree is probably the oak tree, because we have oak trees that live 400 or 500 years.
Yeah.
And they, that is where we need to be thinking of climate change. It's probably that long-term carbon store,
Yeah. And I know there's a lot of trees have different uptakes, and over a year, we do our uptake model over 15 to 20 years. So that's how we calculate it, because, your first year, it doesn't do much at all. You have to really do it over time, and when you're doing the calculations for people. So if someone, say, wants to offset a flight to Spain on their holidays, and they plant a tree, that's going to take 15 years to uptake the carbon from that flight. So that's the way we do our calculations. So if you want to, people expecting a faster return, it's a long-term calculation that we do. And I think I read somewhere that one of the giant redwoods in California would take up a lifetime's worth of carbon for one person. So that's how much carbon people are using up, or emitting, I should suppose, in their lifetime. But those things are hundreds of tons of carbon uptake.
But I suppose that's like it is a good point. And in fairness, like we are open with our customers in that, this is a carbon removal over a fixed period of time. Like this is just one element, like carbon offset and removing it through the atmosphere is only one element. Obviously, reducing and eliminating carbon production in the first place, that's the key. And in COP26, we're under serious pressure time-wise here. We don't have the luxury of a couple of hundred years. Some would argue we don't have the luxury of a decade or 2 decades. So this is one item, and it feeds into the biodiversity and habitat creation as well, because there's obviously an emergency there. But it's one of the tools that we need to use to reduce and remove carbon.
Yeah, and I know we got into kind of a little bit of a Facebook debate with somebody who was arguing against us planting trees here.
No,
if we plant
that's
trees,
what Facebook's for, Mark.
Yeah. But their argument was, if we plant trees here, it means they're cutting them down in the Amazon, which is worse. So we said, well, that argument is like we should burn more coal here, so you don't burn it in Brazil.
Yeah.
It doesn't really make sense. We shouldn't be burning coal here or Brazil. It's just, we can't fight two battles.
Yeah. Well, luckily for us, you're always going to have that. You're always going to find that wanker on the other end somewhere that's just waiting for something to, they just got to put their stamp on it. You know what I mean? They just have to. I think Catch My Carbon, like I said, I'm so impressed with it, and I'm so giddy about spreading the word. And the first thing I thought of when I heard it was just long term, and this is not it's not something that you can do overnight. But you know what? It can actually happen a whole lot faster. We get more, get everybody involved.
Yeah. No, definitely. And it's growing. Like, we doubled our planting this year. We hope to do the same next year, and if that keeps going, we'll just.
And listen, we'll speak about the franchise as well. There's absolutely no worries. Like CashMarkCarbon.us can be organized.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We just have to find find some literate folk.
And also maybe some less dry pasture land. I imagine around you guys it's a bit arid.
Well, we're in a swamp. We live in a swamp, so we're we're extremely. I'm looking out the window, and it's very, very green right now for this time of year. We've had rain and rain. Just been an obscene amount of water falling. But
it's West Texas. It gets drier.
Yeah. I was actually out in the desert a couple of weeks back. I went to Arizona, and I stayed in a little town called Bisbee, Arizona, and it was very strange because you're surrounded by desert, but you're about 5,000 feet above sea level. And you're actually in the mountains. It's right by Tombstone. You would have heard of Tombstone, Arizona, but it's right next to
it. Actually, Bilby looks like the Wild West. It's got those shop fronts with the fake roofs or fake fronts on them.
Well, they have some of the original stuff in there as well, and the Boot Hill Graveyard and all that stuff. It's a brilliant little. I mean, but just shocking to see. I'll send some. We'll put some photographs of Bisbee on here. But because I was thinking about you when I was out there. Well, there's definitely there are forests close by there up in the mountains, but it was Bisbee was shockingly. There was a lot of vegetation, and because of the two of you. I've been thinking about, it's funny, on my way out there, flying and flying over the desert and being in there and among that, I'm thinking about this stuff all the time and how that's why I'm so impressed with your venture here, because it's constantly, it's taken residency up in the old noggin, and there's a lot of room up there.
I know, fair play to you. No, listen, it's great to get the support of people.
It's crucial what you're doing. We're like I said, we're just delighted. We're delighted to be a part of it. And I know you have another call here coming up. So we don't want to keep your, but let's let's do this again. Let's kind of touch base in a few months. Of course, we'll be talking. And you're welcome anytime. But I'd love to just kind of get an update too down the road and see if we can shed some more light on this. And we'll push it. We'll continue to.
And look, and Mark will work on some really good jokes about trees and wood and stuff, and all that. And nothing about morning wood or anything like that.
This is year round wood. This is kind of just.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. I guess we started this just before COVID, which is probably the worst time to start a business. But it's been actually fantastic for us because it's given us something to do when the pubs are closed, and it's a good social outing. And anyone we've talked to just is so enthusiastic about it. It really keeps us going. So it's fantastic. It's been great. It's been kept us going for the last couple of years now while we've been stuck inside and watching the walls.
Yeah.
But But we had, unfortunately, just before COVID hit, we had a couple of travel companies who were ready to sign up. One was a global surf travel company. The other one was a cruise company. And they had huge turnover. And this was our two first potential customers. And then COVID hit, and literally within a week, they said, listen, our business has just dropped off a cliff. We're going to have to park this. And we thought this was such a bad time.
It was unfortunate.
But then we've just found other customers. We've looked at different businesses.
And in fairness, Mark, I suppose the only positive there is that, global emissions went way down with COVID, even though it was boring as hell being locked at home watching Netflix. Actually, there was actually a noticeable decrease. So they'll probably save more carbon than we're taking trees by people who are working from home.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we just pick up. We'll just pick up again, start again, and
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah. They're going to be getting back out. Just hopefully all these pricks that are stopping us from beginning the shutdowns again. Fuck. Just I'm ready to start again.
I know we are pretty good here with the COVID vaccination uptake, but some countries are just. I think it's pretty low in the States, isn't it? The uptake.
Yeah, we have pockets of wonderful, and then pockets of morons. So we're just it's and they can't see the devastation that's being caused in their own back garden. They're doing okay over here, but. So it's still a hoax. You can't win. So
great stuff, guys. Listen,
it's a pleasure to meet you, Flint and Mark. Great seeing you, and we'll do this again, and we'll keep doing it. And keep us posted, and we'll of course we'll harass the Irish as well. We won't stop here.
Yeah. Oh, get on to your brother as well. He's in the government.
Oh, I know. Trust me. As soon as he learns how to read, he's going to be dangerous. Great talking to you. And listen, best of luck. And we'll chat soon. Love to all the families, and we'll see you soon, all right?
All right.
Appreciate it.
Thanks,
See you
guys.
soon.
What a great episode that was.
Yeah.
Those guys are super cool.
Hey, and like we said during the interview, you can buy a tree if you want to help Mark and Flint out with this endeavor. You can buy a tree and have a tree planted in
It doesn't have
Ireland.
to be one. You can have many.
Yeah, it's $5 a tree.
Euro.
And you can just get one. If you only want to get one tree, that's fine. If you want to get 50 trees, you get 50 trees. Whatever you want to do. They'll work it out. They'll find a location for you. They'll send you a certificate just to show proof that you helped to catch your carbon, helped to reforest Ireland. It's a big deal.
Help the environment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's important.
Do that.
And also, we're planning our trip to Ireland in 2022, a couple of weeks, and in October. But it will be
mean Rocktober?
Yes. Yeah. And we're gonna get to meet them and hopefully get out there to some of the sites and if time permitting.
Yep. Yeah, this would be great. Alrighty.
I got going.
Yeah. I was just
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
He's letting me.
Thank you.
So you've got this.
He's sending a
You all
message.
saw it, people.
You all saw that. Don't drive angry. Oh, it's Florida. Never mind.
Yeah.
Okay, well, only another 8 hours in this state and we'll be out of here.
I'll have you out in 2.
Exactly.
I'll drive like that cocksucker.
Yeah. And here we go.
All right, folks.
What's this guy doing? Anyway.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching and learning.
Yep. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Flint.
And go to the website. Get yourself a record.
Yeah.
We'll ship in time for the holidays.
Yay!